And welcome back to Catching Up with Camryn. I'm your host, Camryn Mitchell, and today I'm here at Metroplex Gymnastics Facility with California Berkeley gymnast Kyana George. Yeah. So when did you start?
I did Mom U Meet, but I started competing at the age of 5.
So when did it become something more for you?
Yeah, I would say 8th grade is when I actually sat down with my coaches and my parents and we decided what route would be the best for me to get a scholarship.
And what were the different routes that you could take?
I could go into elite, which would be the Olympic route, or I could stay and train with our elites for me to build my skills and my confidence just so I could get looked at.
Do you think that your coaches thought, oh, she's the top recruiting prospect?
I would say yes. So I committed to Cal Berkeley at the end of my freshman year.
So you have 4 years to basically not screw up.
Yeah, I would say so.
Did you feel a lot of pressure with that?
Yes, I felt pressure, but I think it felt more like an honor to me once I got it because it was just a goal for such a long time. So it kind of more pushed me to be a better athlete. I would say I'm just naturally a driven person.
Okay.
I kind of looked up to kids that were younger than me in the sense that if they had a skill that I knew I was struggling with, but they got easily, it kind of pushed me to do better or push myself to get that skill.
Your mentor, JC Phelps, can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with her?
JC and her husband now, Dave, they both used to coach here. And really, they just helped me with mental training. They honestly took me under their wings and saw that I had potential and pushed me to really be the best athlete I could be.
And you say mental blocks, like what type of blocks were you talking about?
Doing beam, going backwards on the floor, vault in general, just running towards the vault, and releasing the bars. So yeah, I was scared of every single one of that. So it was honestly just taking it one step at a time. Gradually, step by step, they got me to just overcome my fears. Yeah. And whether it be me singing a song, to distract myself or making me laugh to not make me think about what could go wrong. It's really helped me. I would say the biggest lesson I learned from them is just enjoying what I love to do, just enjoying something that I truly have passion for.
Yeah, that's awesome. So your freshman year, what was it like being in California?
I would say it was pretty hectic, especially me coming from Texas. It's completely different. I got to compete all around in all of my competitions my freshman year, so it was really nice being able to do that. Just achieving something, just being out there for the first time. I will always remember the first event that I competed at our first college competition, and I just remember finishing my floor routine and nailing my double tuck at the end. I was just chills all over my body. It was it was real. It was so real that I was oh my god, I'm an actual college athlete. But
was it hard to be a student athlete and also a student, your freshman year?
Most definitely. But the advisors at Cal were just so good and so willing to help me, and I honestly still see them every single time.
For the purposes of gymnastics, how often do you guys get together?
It's about every day.
Wow.
We usually go from 8 to 12 or 8 to 1.
And so you were telling me earlier that when you decide to go the college route, you're basically just done after college, right? Mm-hmm. And so what are you thinking you're going to do once you graduate next year?
Hopefully to be either a life specialist or going to occupational therapy. Okay. Those are kind of something that I just felt like I would enjoy.
Right.
I know that I'm not going to be done with the sport in general, so I hope to do something that has to do with volunteer coaching at a college or here at Metroplex, because I know I'm going to move back to Texas.
Yeah. So what goals do you have for your senior season?
I just kind of hope to leave a legacy of someone that was determined and driven and just someone that was really passionate, not just about the sport, but about the team in general and about putting their best foot forward.
Okay. So do you think that there are any negatives to gymnastics? Anything that people from the outside like me maybe haven't seen that you kind of had to go through?
I would say obviously there's fears and mental blocks that every gymnast has to go through, especially with the recruiting process. I think it's more of stress and really the mental health of it. Really? Just kind of am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Just kind of, I felt we're already being judged by our skills, so I feel having to kind of portray someone that's always bubbly and smiley and all the time I feel like people kind of like get to not see the side of what we go through when the kind of cameras are off, or even when our teammates aren't there.
Yeah. So did you ever feel like you were actually putting on an act of sorts at all?
I would say personally this year, definitely one of my hardest years.
What was so hard about it?
I would just say it had a lot to do with my mental health, just being happy in general. It was more of just me not knowing if I was happy or if I was just putting on an act. Yeah, it's kind of like, how does a person that usually steps into the gym with a smile on her face ready to go, and then the next day is just kind of like not really into it. But it wasn't anything having to do with me losing my passion for the sport or anything. Like, I wanted it so bad, but it was kind of like I didn't know how to. But yeah, just finding out that that it was okay to not be okay this year. So I think everything that I put out this year, I was 100% proud of.
That's awesome. Well, now I kind of want to get to know Kyana George outside of the gym. So, like, what do you like to do for fun when you're not working out? What do you do?
I would say my roommate knows I'm definitely at home doing something random, saying, "Ooh, should we make slime today?" I'm always like willing to like do random crafts. I'm at home watching Netflix.
What are your go-to shows or movies?
Definitely anything Disney for movies. Shows, Vampire Diaries. I got really into Outer Banks. I just finished it. It was a really good show.
So what's your favorite Disney movie?
The Lion King. And Lion King 1.5 and Lion King 2.
Perfect three. The perfect three. What about music? What music do you listen to?
I'm definitely more of like an old school kind of hip hop person.
So like who?
Biggie and Tupac. Like
there you go.
I got you there.
If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
I would probably say the Virgin Islands.
Why is that?
Just because I have my dad's side of the family there.
If you could do any other sport that wasn't gymnastics, what would you do?
I would have to say dance.
What is the top thing on your bucket list that you hope to accomplish within the next year?
I'd say obviously graduating from Berkeley. But I'd say outside of gymnastics, I really want to try out for Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Just because, it's just always been a dream of mine when I was like super, super little.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers for you that I can see you on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
I know.
That'd be really cool. So what's the difference between a cartwheel and a round off?
So a cartwheel, you land on one leg first and then the other leg, and then a round off, you land on both legs together.
So when did you learn how to do a flip? Like how old were you?
I was 5.
And you could just do a front flip when you were 5, or back flip?
Yeah, I mean, they just pretty much taught us, like, again, like the basics of just a cartwheel, then a round off, and then you just kind of keep adding on skills after that.
Okay, and you have a skill named after you, don't you, the George?
Yes.
So what exactly is that?
So it's a triple wolf turn on the beam. It's kind of hard to explain the position of it, but
how did it get named after you? Like, can you tell me that story?
Yeah, I mean, one day I was just kind of like messing around. We were just seeing how many turns people can do, and then we noticed that I was consistently making triples. And so my coach was all like, wait, is that even in the code of books? And we're all like, oh, I don't know. And we looked at all of them, and then we found out that it hadn't been named yet. And so I think it was in 2000, either 15 or 16, where we got it named after me.
Is that not so cool to you?
I mean, it's kind of like I kind of forget that I have a skill named after me.
So it's something I should be able to do. Like, realistically speaking, now it's too late for me.
No.
She's trying to be. So what kind of fears do you still have with gymnastics?
Jumping on a trampoline. Yeah. I guess I'm afraid of heights.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a like. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, follow my page if you want to see the latest in sports news and interviews with star athletes.
Thanks for catching up with Camryn.